Kia ora, nau mai, hara mai. Tuia ki runga, tuia ki raro, tuia ki roto, tuia ki waho. Ka rongo te pō, ka rongo te ao, tihei mauri ora. Good morning. Well, good morning from Aotearoa, good morning from Rotorua. Ko Sean tōku ingoa. My name is Sean, and I'm just welcoming you to your deep dive into Rotorua. We opened with an acknowledgement, with a karakia, just acknowledging all that is above, all that is below, all that is around us. It's reminding us to be aware of our surroundings and just being aware of each other. So no mai, hara mai anō. Welcome to Rotorua. I'm going to hand over to Lou Badley from Destination Rotorua, RotoruaNZ, and she'll kick us off. No mai, hara mai.
Thanks, Sean. Well, there's a test a little bit later to see if you can all remember exactly what Sean said. So I hope you all took notes. And there is the beautiful karakia, which starts the open in a really beautiful way that Sean spoke to. So really, really happy to be here this morning talking to you all. But let me set the scene and tell you where on earth we are down in the little corner of the world. So New Zealand, we've got two islands. We're not very good at naming things around here. The North Island's called the North Island, and the one in the south is called the South. And we are located right in the middle of the North Island. Now, you might be familiar with Auckland, which is our largest city in the country. That is also where the main international airport is. And so Rotorua is really easy to get to from Auckland. We are just 2 hours and 45 minutes, or about 3 hours south of Auckland. And Hobbiton, the movie set, the only living movie set in the world, and of course the location of the filming of the Lord of the Rings trilogy in Hobbiton, is just up the road from us. So if you were to come to Auckland, heading down to Rotorua, a little plug for our cousins in Hobbiton, we would highly recommend that you stop there on the way. So Auckland to Rotorua, to recap, we are a 3 hour drive, and we even have flights. So we have air connectivity from and to our main centres in New Zealand, Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch. And you can see the flight and the drive times just there. So let's set the scene a little bit. Why visit Rotorua? Well, firstly, it's absolutely gorgeous here. We are a forest district, we're a lake district. We have 18 lakes on our doorstep, and we have an absolutely beautiful forest. And our forest is 15,000 years old. It's absolutely stunning. It's actually the second largest recreational forest in the world. We're a super friendly destination, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that shortly. But I think best of all, not only is it a beautiful and welcoming place, we have world-class experiences, and there is absolutely something for everyone here. Now, the first thing I would say is, as you're going to see shortly, we have so much to do. We absolutely recommend a minimum of a 3 to 4 night stay. So anything less than that, we often find people are disappointed. They don't really appreciate the sheer gravity of what we have here. But before I go into Rotorua, I've just come back from North America. And so what I wanted to share with you is basically this. Don't forget about that, and I'm sure Kieran's going to talk about this in a little while, but don't forget about the direct air connectivity to New Zealand. In many instances from the American hubs, it's a direct flight. And also, if New Zealand is on your client's bucket lists, you want to get that off right now, because $1 US is $1.68 New Zealand. And once you get here, you have the most incredible value for money, bang for buck. And I found that when I was up in North America a few weeks ago, every time I talked about the cost of things down here, people in North America were going, "Can you say that again? Can you repeat yourself?" So fantastic value for money once you're here. Now, here's what I think is a really fun thing about Rotorua. We're not a very big city. There's only about 78,000 of us. They're really lucky to meet us today because there's 4 of us here. And within a 20 square kilometre radius, you are going to find world-class experiences. Now, why that is fantastic is, as a travel advisor, A, there's a lot of commission up for grabs, but B, your clients can see and do a lot, including ticking off a lot of the New Zealand must-sees in one destination. And you're going to hear from Sean again. He's at Te Puia, which is at the bottom of that little map there with the geyser. And so if you were driving from Te Puia, a world-class cultural and geothermal place. I won't spoil it. Sean's going to talk to that. And if you were going to go to Renee, to the world-class spa, it's about a 6-minute drive. Yeah. That's 6 minutes, including stopping at the traffic lights. And then over to the start of Rotorua Canopy Tours from Sean, again, would be about a 10-minute drive. So really that 10 to 15-minute drive time is about the most that you will experience in our destination. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we have to offer here. So first and foremost, the North American market's really interested in the culture that we have here in New Zealand. And here in Rotorua, particularly more so than anywhere else in New Zealand, you are going to find an absolute hub of cultural experiences where your clients can take a deep dive into the world of the Māori. Now, this isn't for show, and I think this is something that I'm personally most proud of. So as a European New Zealander, I just find it absolutely fantastic that the Rotorua community, we live side by side in New Zealand, in fact, with the Māori community. It is not lip service. There is such a close integration with the culture, and it's absolutely enjoyed by all. And in a normal conversation here in Rotorua, your clients will be greeted with those two beautiful words, kia ora, which means good health, but hello and welcome and all of those good things. So it's a really exciting place to be, to see how culture, Indigenous culture, and I suppose a Western culture, how they can be authentically and genuinely celebrated and integrated. So that's really exciting. And to save me talking about this too much, Sean is going to do a deeper dive and talk about Te Puia after I finish talking today. Now, the second thing that is really interesting about Rotorua is we don't just have a beautiful forest and lakes and culture, we actually live in a geothermal hotspot. So we have erupting geysers, we have bubbling mud, we have beautiful hot springs. So it's a really unique destination from the perspective of the scenery. So we have a number of geothermal parks. So again, depending on what your clients are looking for, if they're wanting to go for a little hike, for example, Waimangu would be a fantastic choice. If they're wanting to combine geothermal with culture, then Te Puia would be a fantastic choice. So my job today is just to whet your appetite and give you an overview of all of these. By the way, every single product that I talk about today is contracted with ANZCRO, so really easy access for you to be able to access all of these incredible products. Now, because of the geothermal, we have the most incredible spa and wellness experiences. So where we're harnessing those geothermal waters, we have therapeutic mineral pools, we have luxurious spa treatments. So we have from the 50-year-old Polynesian spa, which is suitable for everyone, including families, that is located right in downtown Rotorua, to Secret Spot, your neighbour's Sean, located right next door to Te Puia on the edge of the forest, where you can bathe in beautiful hot water and enjoy a glass of wine or a delicious beer while you're at it. You can, of course, do mud bathing if that's your thing here in Rotorua. The Māori have been bathing in mud for centuries, really healing and therapeutic, particularly after battle. If we think of those days of old where there might have been cuts and grazes, the mud is a fantastic anecdote to help heal and keep you young, actually. That's why I only look 48 when I'm actually 96. And Renee is going to come on and she is going to talk about Ariki Hot Springs and Spa, which is our newest experience here in Rotorua, a premium world-class 5-star facility located in the middle of the downtown on the edge of the lake. So I've already kind of talked about how beautiful Rotorua is. And so what you can also experience here is nature. So you could enjoy farm life, for example, at the Agrodome, which is a real life working farm. You could go to the New Zealand Kiwi Hatchery, which is a conservation entirely dedicated to the raising and regeneration population and caring for our native bird here in New Zealand, which the kiwi bird, of course, that all of the New Zealanders are named after, not a kiwi fruit. In New Zealand, we call the kiwi fruit the kiwi fruit. So you can't say in New Zealand, I'm going to eat a kiwi, because that's our tour's incredible amphibious World War II experience. We splash down on our lakes, Redwood's Tree Walk at the bottom there, which is an experience 5 minutes from town, where your clients will walk up a spiral staircase and then walk on swing bridges across 28 different platforms in the forest, which only takes about 45 minutes. And then real Rotorua on the bottom right there, this is a stunning walk through New Zealand's native bush by night. You experience glowworms, you hear about the flora and fauna, because of course New Zealand was a separate landmass for 70,000 years, so you're going to find incredible, unique plants and life that you wouldn't find anywhere else in the world. And on this nocturnal tour, you are also going to see an abundance of glowworms. So that's another little secret. We have an abundance of glowworms here in Rotorua. And the last reason people come, so this is the fifth reason, we have award-winning adventure experiences. My friend Paul, to the left of me, is going to talk about Rotorua Canopy Tours, the #1 experience in New Zealand currently with TripAdvisor. They've won so many awards, I actually just about lose track. He's very humble. He doesn't really talk about them. But we invent a lot of the world-class experiences. I mean, only in Rotorua would we think about getting people inside a giant ball filled with warm water. Sean, you could get in this ball of water in your Speedos with all your girlfriends in their bikinis and just roll down a hill, like down a mountain. I mean, why not, right? Rotorua is home of the luge. If you haven't tried luging, it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on. You sit in a sort of skateboard go-kart, zoom down a hill. There's luge skylines all over the world, Ireland and Singapore, but here in Rotorua is where the luge was invented. And we have the 5 luge tracks here, the most number of luge tracks in the world. So that's kind of enough of an overview, I think, to just help you go, wow, there really is a lot to do here. In terms of our climate, we have a very mild climate. Our activities can be enjoyed year-round, which is great. So the North Island of New Zealand is considerably warmer than the South, and you can see our temperatures there, which I've also put in Fahrenheit because I'm very kind. Had to look that up. We only talk in Celsius here. But of course, because we're inland, we are very sheltered. We don't receive as much wind as other destinations. So we get snow on the mountains, but it doesn't get snow settling down on our land. But you can go to the South Island for that incredible experience. Accommodation. I'm not going to touch on this too much, but simply we have something for everyone here. All of these products are contracted with ANZCRO. The short version of the story is we have hotels, brands that you will recognise, motels, glamping, B&Bs, and we also have luxury accommodation for your premium visitors. We have, in short, 4,000 beds per night. So there's a bed for everyone. So come on down. And that is it from me. And I am going to hand you over to Te Puia. So get ready for a little deep dive into the world of the Māori. Kia ora.
Kia ora again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So yeah, it's my pleasure just to share some insights around Te Puia and what we have to offer. Before I kick into the actual experience, just one slide too far. Just wanted to share with you our why we do what we do at Te Puia. And very simply, it's toi tū te ahurea Māori, being leaders in uplifting Māori culture, and we do that through continuing on our legacy of guiding, but also through the schools that we have on site, ensuring that the culture sort of not only survives into the future, but absolutely thrives for future generations. I'm just going to ask for the video to play for this next slide. And this is a really beautiful introduction. Do I press click? Where we're bringing some guests into an exclusive space at Te Puia for an exclusive cultural welcome. This is part of an experience that we call and I'll just let the video play for about a minute. Hold up. We'll just move on to the geothermal valley. Can I introduce you all to Morgan? So Morgan Hurihanganui is one of our senior guides at Te Puia. She is actually the 6th generation of her family to be a guide at Te Puia. And what's incredible with our young people coming up through the ranks, they're just so they're so embedded. They learn the culture and the language from a very young age. And so when it comes time for them to share our culture and share our history with your guests, it just comes across. It's very natural. It's a really beautiful shared experience. We also offer an opportunity for your guests to see live kiwi at Te Puia. We are part of the National Kiwi Conservation Program, and there is an opportunity to go into a state-of-the-art nocturnal house because the light cycle needs to be reversed so that your guests get to see kiwi moving around. And then also, I'll go into this a little bit later, our schools of carving, weaving, greenstone, and whalebone carving. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that later. So this experience that I wanted to share just with you today, give you a real sort of taste for the type of experience we can offer. Essentially, there is the exclusive welcome down into Te Puia. The guests then see they go through the geothermal valley. They see their lunch that's been cooking in the natural steam vent that you can see there. And then it's moving just around from the steam vent and towards the geyser terrace that you can see in the center of your screens there. Now, just in the middle near the back is a white marquee. That is the space where they will dine for their lunch, and it's a blend of locally sourced ingredients, foods that we as Māori love to eat and are specific to our region, and then we pair that with incredible New Zealand wine, and it's a dining overlooking the geyser. From that perspective, it's something that you can't do anywhere else in Aotearoa, and I would venture to say the world. And then just for after lunch, it's getting in behind the scenes to interact with our tutors and our students at the New Zealand Māori Arts and Crafts Institute. This really is our purpose. The way that our organisation is structured is that we share our culture and our landscape with your guests. The revenue that we generate from those experiences, we reinvest back into the culture through our schools. These schools are open. We've actually got applications open at the moment for young Māori to apply, and it's actually a 3-year tertiary level degree that they qualify with in their chosen craft. So it's a really beautiful purpose, and it's something that we are really very proud of. So there's wood carving, and also the greenstone carving. That's the New Zealand nephrite jade that's sourced from the South Island, and then also the flax weaving, where we're harvesting the fibres from the natural fibres from the flax plant, and then just through skill and process, turning those fibres into incredible garments. So yeah, I just wanted to share that little insight with you. We are an iconic destination for Aotearoa and for Rotorua. We are part of this. Rotorua really does sit at the beginning of tourism for New Zealand. It's in our DNA. It's something that is very much the feel and vibe of our destination is caring for people, hosting people, feeding people. So I'm sure if you or your guests were to join us, we'd take care of them. We'd do a great job of looking after them. So thank you all. I'm going to hand you over to Paul from Canopy Tours, and he's going to share his incredible corner of Rotorua with you. Build up.
And before Paul comes and talks, it's Lou here. I just remembered to tell you about the Q&A. So we've got a fantastic little section on the right-hand side there for you. So any questions that you have, we love questions. So pop your questions in there. You can see there's a few people that have already worked that out because you're all very clever. And if you like a question in there and you're like, oh, I really like that question, look, give it a vote because it pushes the question up the top of the list. And we are going to be answering those. But yeah, all our tours and experiences are open all seasons, including this one. Take it away, Paul.
Kia ora, how are you guys?
Get you to come a little bit closer to the mic.
So my name's Paul Budd and I'm the General Manager of Rotorua Canopy Tours. So Rotorua Canopy Tours is essentially a zipline business. We've got 6 zip lines in an ancient old growth forest, but Rotorua Canopy Tours is a lot more than that. How do we grab that video?
Oh, we just asked Corey and she's going to play it.
Oh,
look at that.
Corey.
What a system.
So so Rotorua Canopy Tours, we've got 2 zipline courses. Each zipline course has 6 zip lines, a couple of bridges, and a bunch of features. But for us, it's more than just the zip lines. A standard zipline experience is all about the zip lines, but for us, it's more than that. The zip lines on the experience make up 3 minutes, but for us, it's about the entire experience and the full integration into the biodiversity and the conservation. So we're in an ancient old growth forest. The trees are up to 1,000 years old. In a forest that has been developing for up to 15,000 years in an environment that has been created by volcanic activity 240,000 years ago. Through our 12 years of operation, we've done a bunch of conservation work, and we've made it a big priority of the business to restore the forest and the area that we work in. And I'll discuss that a little bit more in a second. So we operate 15 minutes from Rotorua in a forest where nobody else has access to. It's the trails and the tracks have been built for just Canopy Tours, and it's exclusive access for your guests that come through. So when we first started operating 12 years ago, what we set out to do was to build the most engaging zipline experience in the world, and I feel like we're very close to delivering that. Canopy Tours has big markets, kids as young as 6, people as old as Lewis. Lewis was 93 years old, and he's the oldest zipliner to ever come through, but he's also the only zipliner to ever come through in a suit. He came through the original Canopy Tour a bunch of years ago, but we've also had somebody that's 92 come through on the ultimate Canopy Tour. People come to the business for the zip lines, but they leave with the guides as the heroes. The forest, we've got big trees, podocarp trees, rimu and tawa, which are native New Zealand trees. We're very polished. All of our gear is really good. Our touch points are shiny. We're a premium product, and we make sure that the entire experience is very sharp. We're established. We've been around for 12 years, and we've done over 260,000 customers, and we have over 8,500 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor. It's not just zip lines. It's swing bridges, epic platforms, tandem zip lines, spiral staircases around 1,000-year-old trees, cliff walks around rocks that are over 240,000 years old, and controlled descents where you can come out of the tree at 60 feet to the ground, assisted by a mechanical belay device. This is on the ultimate experience. That's an image of a rock that was created by the supervolcano 240,000 years ago. So we culture first. We know that the humans are our guides, are our assets. Our guides are our product, and we do whatever we can to ensure the culture of the business is as best we can. And we don't, as a business, it's all about looking after our clients. And we, once they've bought the experience, we deliver free photos at the end. We've through the 12 years of Canopy Tours, we've restored the forest back to pre-human existence. So New Zealand was a separated landmass for 70 million years, and because of that, our flora and fauna has developed in a very unique way. This means in New Zealand we have over 50% of our plants, insects, trees are endemic to New Zealand and not found anywhere else in the world. And through the years, some of our forests have had issues with introduced species that have sort of decimated the forest. And over the last 12 years, Canopy Tours on its own back has spent over $1 million restoring the forest back to pre-human existence. And because of that, there's a lot of biodiversity that's returned to the forest. There's birds. When we first started, there wasn't a bird in the forest, but now we have a bunch of birds, even to the point where we feed native birds from our hands. Inside the forest, there's invertebrates and mushrooms and skinks and geckos that we've found that have never been seen in the world before, and they're plentiful now to the point where our clients can see them and fully engage in that experience. We discover new species to science. Just in this picture here, we have jumping spiders, pseudoscorpions, dung beetles. All of these have never been seen in the world before and been discovered inside Canopy Tours by scientists that we engage with. We're regenerative. We have the restoration work. You can see the differences. So here's a photo of the forest in 2012, and here's a forest today, 10 years later. I'll play that again for you. We can make the noises. Ooh. So you can see through the 10 years, through the work that we've done, restoring the forest, removing the introduced species, the forest has come back to life. So through the experience, we talk about this, and we integrate this into the tour so all the clients learn about it, and they learn about the challenges, and they learn how they're a part of it. We actually run a trust beside the business that does all the conservation work, and it's part of your clients attending Canopy Tours. We actually donate on their behalf, and they become part of the forest story. Could we just have the bird feeding in here, Corey? Sorry, the video. So here's a few images here's a few videos of the clients feeding birds when they're on their experience. So we feed native birds, the tomtit and the robin, on every experience. So because of all this cool stuff we do, we've won a bunch of awards. We've been named either the #1 tourism activity or business in New Zealand, the South Pacific, or the world 7 times in 9 years. I guess it is pretty incredible. And here's a couple of images throughout of our team receiving awards. But we were named the world's best nature activity in 2021, alongside every other year since. And last year we became a B Corp. For those that know what certified B Corps are, B corporations. B Corp is an accreditation which you become. You get audited on how you look after your people, how you build your product, how you look after your community, and there's only one ziplining B Corp in the Southern Hemisphere. There's about 100 in New Zealand, about 8,000 worldwide. We're the first ziplining B Corp in the Southern Hemisphere. We're the first B Corp in the Rotorua region, and we're one of 4 B Corps in New Zealand tourism. So it's an incredible effort. The reasons why we get this is, we donate $120,000 a year to local communities. We donate $60,000 a year into the conservation. We've donated over $1 million in the time we've been open to the conservation efforts. So we're more than just zip lines. So we have a couple of experiences. One, we have the original Canopy Tour and the ultimate Canopy Tour. One's 3 hours, one's 3.5 hours. One's got zip lines up to 600 feet. One's got zip lines up to 1,200 feet. But the experience is very similar on both. It's very engaging. Small group tours, 2 guides, 10 people, and they're taken around the course in a really high-end type feel. Thank you very much for taking the time to enjoy Canopy Tours as a product. It's been really nice speaking to you. I'm going to introduce to my colleague here, Renee Paul from Ariki.
When she gets her name change, it gets confusing, hey?
Kia ora, everybody. Well, last but not least, my name is Renee, and I am proud to be able to talk to you about our new spa called Ariki, which means chiefly waters. Can you please change?
Do that. Look at that. You're in charge. I can be in charge for you if you like. How's that?
Thank you. So as you can see, this is our new spa here. And just wanting to point out that this is the first luxury cultural wellness spa in New Zealand. We opened in June of last year. and it's owned and has been built by our local tribe here in Rotorua. So it's an Indigenous spa experience, and one of the reasons for creating the spa is to be able to share our cultural traditions and healing practices with visitors. So as you can see in the picture, there are 6 carvings that stand in front of the building, and they are actually representative of real ancestors that were chiefs and leaders in their time. So they welcome you on arrival, and for those of us that are from this particular tribe, they are gentle reminders of the responsibility and legacy that we are to uphold, because if it wasn't for their leadership, we wouldn't be where we are today. As Lou mentioned, just to show in terms of our location, we are right in front of Lake Rotorua. So there is our lake, as you can see, and we are less than 10-minute walk from many of our main hotels and accommodation within the inner city. And to your left, you'll see the name Ohanimotu Village. So that's the home of our tribe that owns Ariki Hot Springs and Spa, which is a beautiful 10-minute walk as you make your way to the newly developed lakefront. One of our signature experiences is called the restorative journey. And as you can see here, it's called the restorative journey because it is restorative in the sense that it has been purposely curated to relax and rejuvenate mind, body, and spirit. And it's a journey because you go through a process of 5 steps. So here, the feedback that we've received from our North American visitors is that it has helped with jet lag after a long flight to New Zealand, and that it is after doing lots of hiking or people who have achy bones, that has helped recharge their body whilst on vacation. But when here with the restorative journey, it is a 2-hour experience. So we begin the restorative journey doing a wellness blessing, and then as you can see with the images, you go through 5 different areas. One thing I'd like to point out is that here at Ariki, we have a limit on how many people can do the restorative journey. So there would never be any more than 16 people at a time that would do the restorative journey. So in essence, as well as the cultural storytelling that you receive, you will experience geothermal heat, geothermal water, geothermal mud, and geothermal steam.
And so now it's time for your beautiful video. You're going to bring it to life. And so just like magic, someone's going to play it. Look at that.
Voila. So at Ariki, in terms of the build, the architecture, the designs that are incorporated all have a meaning, and you're able to learn about our history and our culture. So it's like Māori culture, geothermal, blended together to create a spa experience. Here, this is our restorative journey, and as you can see, it's just quickly showing you the 5 different steps of the restorative journey. So with this being stage 2, it's a blend of hot and cold, and how your body and skin is stimulated from that particular process. This here is our frigidarium. This is when after you've heated your body from our saunas, you can put cold ice or cold water over your body. And then from there you move into our concourse of pools. So we have 5 bathing experiences to enjoy.
The video's just stopped, but I reckon they've got good imagination. Oh, there we go.
And so we have we have 2 mineral waters, a cold plunge, a herbal pool, which is bathing with native medicinal plants, and we have a hydrotherapy pool. And the hydrotherapy pool in the water and soft bubbles come up, and then you can also massage your shoulders and back with different pressures of jet streams. Not sure why the video isn't playing.
It's for the element of suspense. So they go, this looks so fantastic. I'm just going to get on a plane, probably a direct flight, and just come on down and see it myself.
Exactly. But as you can see there in the background is our Lake Rotorua. So you have a stunning vista whilst you're enjoying our bathing experiences. Another key point is that because of our high roof, if it's raining, you're protected from getting wet, and if it's a sunny day, then you're protected from the sun. And just to wrap up again, Ariki Hot Springs and Spa is the first luxury cultural wellness experience in New Zealand, combining both Māori culture and geothermal together. It is for adults only, so you have to be 16 years and above, and it has been designed to improve mental, spiritual and physical wellness. Kia ora. Do we have any questions?
Well, there's actually a whole heap. Oh, the video was playing for everyone. It may have been. Oh, so it was just us. Okay. I will just wrap up briefly. So in summary, Rotorua is a world-class destination. We have world-class activities, world-class lakes, world-class spa and wellness, forests, geothermal, and as Sean touched on, people. And actually, I love what you said, Sean. We're the first tourism destination in the world. We've been welcoming visitors here for a long time. It's actually been really interesting watching, I guess, some of the reactions to tourism around the world and Europe over the summer. And it was quite shocking, actually, to see some protests, etc. That's not what happens here. We are first and foremost a tourism destination, followed closely by a forestry region. Everyone from every family works in tourism. We love the people. We are, I guess, fascinated being so far at the bottom of the world that people travel so far to come and see what is just normal for us to live in this incredible destination. So to finish off, please come down and visit if you haven't been here. And we'd love a little bit of a show of hands in the Q&A of who has and hasn't been. So maybe someone could write, I have been. Someone else could write, I haven't been. And someone else goes, I'm going on the next plane. And then you can all vote. And so we can see where how many people have and haven't been. So, yeah, so look, please, if you haven't been, come on down. What we can do here at the local tourism board is be a fantastic point of contact for you about all things Rotorua. ANZCRO, of course, I think every single ANZCRO member has been here a number of times. They are, alongside me, absolutely the experts in our destination. But if you want to reach out for that niggly question like, what on earth is a pie? Why are New Zealanders obsessed with a pie? And what on earth is it? I'm happy to answer that. If you want to know the difference between our Māori cultural or geothermal experiences, again, I'm a fantastic person to know that. So think of us as your on-the-ground Rotorua experts. If anyone's coming on down, and I can see someone is in February, reach out, kind of out of our high season, which is December to February, we can help with organising for meals. But I'm going to hand over to Kieran now, the other expert, but actually the whole expert for the whole country. So over to you, Kieran. Thank you. And we'll answer some questions at the end.
Thank you, Lou. That was really good, Renee. I'm feeling very relaxed after seeing the spa videos. So yeah, I'm in a different zone at the moment. Morning, everyone. My name is Kiran. I work as a Senior Vice President Sales for ANZCRO. And ANZCRO is a DMC. We can help you with any requirements that you have for Australia, New Zealand, and also Fiji, Tahiti, and Cook Islands. We've been in business for about 30 years, and we have 80 staff with a head office in Gold Coast in Australia and another office in Queenstown in New Zealand. Our core competencies are product depth. So we have all the products contracted that you've seen today, but in addition to that, in all, we have about 40,000 products directly contracted from 5,000 suppliers across Australia and New Zealand. Most of the inventory comes to us through API connections. So we have the ability to turn around like a 2-week itinerary for New Zealand or for Australia in about 30 minutes without sending out any emails to any of our suppliers. So it's a proprietary booking system, and we're very good with customized itineraries. So send us a brief about your clients, and we make an itinerary from scratch every time to reflect what the interests are of the clients. So if they're into Māori culture, geothermal activity, the itinerary look quite different from someone who's into wine or Lord of the Rings or wildlife and things like that. So tell us what your clients need, and we'll customize an itinerary. We do come back to you with the customized itinerary, with the availability and the quote within 1 or 2 business days, keeping in mind the time difference between North America and Australia and New Zealand. Our quotes are broken down line by price for every product that's included. And you have the flexibility to book what you need from us and to book directly through other channels as well. This is a quick snapshot of all the product that we have. So we cater to all styles of travel. We have all kinds of accommodation from 4-star, 5-star, to luxury lodges, boutique accommodation, apartments, villas, even farm stays. We can cater to rental cars or camper vans, even rail travel, ferries, any style of travel, any type of accommodation, any activity attraction. Get in touch with us and we will be able to book it for you. This is the reason we exist. We make selling Australia and New Zealand vacations easy. One of the ways we do that is using our array of digital brochures. I'll share my screen to show you how the brochure looks online. So this is our New Zealand brochure. So it's about 124 pages of content, has got a bit of introduction on New Zealand, shows you all the flights from North America into Australia and New Zealand, has got our rental car suppliers, our camper van suppliers. It also includes different types of accommodation, and it presents every part of New Zealand one after the other with recommended places to stay and things to do. This is about 124 pages of content about recommended things to do and places to stay. Similar to that, we also have an Australia brochure, which is another 120 pages of content. Sometimes that's too much content for your clients. If they don't want that much of information when they're planning a trip to Australia or New Zealand, we also have a shorter brochure, which is our iconic brochure. And the iconic brochure is just one itinerary of 11 nights for Australia as a starting point, but everything is customizable. Similarly, we have 11 nights New Zealand itinerary as a starting point to the discussions, but everything here again is customizable. For the really high-end clients that you cater to, we have a luxury brochure. This is about 136 pages of content of luxury lodges across Australia and New Zealand. While I browse through these brochures, I'll give you a bit of information about the brochures itself. While ANZCRO is a B2B company, we only work with travel advisors. We don't work with clients directly. Our brochures, though, are all meant for B2C. So it is for you to pass on to your clients. So all the rates that you see are either in Aussie dollars or New Zealand dollars, depending on the product, and they are commissionable. They are indicative rates. It's when you get in touch with us with the travel dates that we can tell you the exact rate for any of these properties or the itineraries. But these, what you see, are indicative rates and often include your commission as well. So in addition to these digital brochures, we also have a resources hub. This hub's in 2 parts. It's got the training part and the marketing part. In the training part, for instance, for the iconic New Zealand itinerary of about 11 nights, we have about a 100-slide product manual that can teach you a bit more about how every day unfolds and the different components of the tour for each day. We also have a marketing hub. So the marketing hub's got images, videos, and our itineraries in text format for you to make your own newsletters, for EDMs, or for your own web pages. There is no minimum spend with us. So if all you need is a transfer, we are happy to book that for you. And we also, our sales team also gets into webinar or Zoom calls with you to convert your clients, to answer their questions, things like that. We are quite flexible in terms of how we quote. We can send you gross itineraries with a commission, or we can send you net costs so you can add your own commission. We're also flexible in terms of how you pay us. We can collect the total cost from your clients directly and remit commissions back to you, or you're welcome to collect the payment and send us the net amount prior to travel. Here's a quick side with people that have worked with us. So they say that working with ANZCRO exceeded their expectations. They say it's one of the best decisions that they've made using ANZCRO for their requirements for Aussie, New Zealand, things like that. We are preferred for a bunch of partners up in the US market. So with Delta Vacations, Travel Edge, Fora, Ensemble, On Voyage, Worldwide Travel Quest. We were also the winners for the most outstanding wholesaler for destination and experience at the Australian National Travel Industry Awards in December last year. And 2 weeks back, we won Magellan 2024 Gold Awards for our brochures and also for the resources hub that I mentioned a bit earlier today. That's our team in the head office in Gold Coast, at least the people that turned up to work that day. And these are my contact details. Get in touch with me if you need any assistance to help you develop Australia and New Zealand growth strategy. It's a really good time to invest more time and effort into promoting Aussie and New Zealand. We are going through the largest increase in air capacity from the North American market into Aussie, New Zealand. We've never seen so many seats before. So all airlines you can think of, from Air New Zealand to Qantas to United, American, Delta, Air Canada, are all increasing capacity. So it's a really good time for you to pay some attention and ensure that you get the share of the pie as far as growth is concerned from North America into Aussie and New Zealand. That's all from me. We will hang around to take some questions. Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much for your attention.
So my screen has been turned off. Let's see if I can. Oh, look at that. We've worked that out. I understand that my video has been paused until my connection improves, so hopefully everyone can still hear us. Is there a weight limit for participants on the Rotorua Canopy Tours? Yes, there is. It is 267 pounds. So there we go. We can answer that one easily. Sean, I've got a question for you, my love. Can we assist with visits to sacred regions in Māori culture and mythology?
That's a complex question. There are different levels of what we call wahi tapu or sacred sites. There are sites here in the city that we regard as wahi tapu that are public, that people can access, and then there are sites that are not public. So it's a bit of a complex question, but yeah, there are sites, as an example, at Te Puia that are wahi tapu, that are sacred to the local people, and that's part of the storytelling that we share with our guests. But there are also sites that we don't give access to. So, but that's across the whole country and across Rotorua, even within Canopy Tours within the forest there'll be wahi tapu, and yeah. So hopefully I sort of answered your question.
Renee, I've got a couple of questions for you, and I think you can answer these, so don't panic. Can you please send full information on the Indigenous spa healing offering? So what we could do, Kieran will be sending out the follow-up so we can send some information, including that video, which you saw, but we didn't, but that's okay because we know what it looks like. We can send that, so we can send that in the follow-up. People are loving our slides. They weren't in the handouts because we were hoping that you would listen and stay right to the end, and hopefully it's been worth it. But we will send a PDF of all of the slides, and hopefully Kieran will be kind enough to include an option for that to be downloaded when he does the follow-up. There was a question around Rotorua Canopy Tours and your weight limit. So off the top of my head, is it 267 pounds?
Correct.
Whew, she's good. 120 kilos. That was some quick math there. Children, in terms of ages for the Rotorua Canopy Tours, yes, children are absolutely welcome and encouraged. As Sean said, the oldest person was Lewis and the only person to ever do it in a suit. He was 92?
93.
93. And the youngest. So in terms of children, remembering Rotorua Canopy Tours has two different types of tours, the original and then the higher, faster and longer, which is the ultimate. The original, children must be 6 years old and up, which means I just qualify. And for the ultimate tour, they must be 10 years old and up. Do we have any brochures that can be emailed? Gillian? Oh, yes, we can send you some information. I did see a question about imagery. Absolutely. So the RotoruaNZ website, in the handout, there was a link to the travel trade page. So our image library has a beautiful selection of photos available there. So you just need to create a login and then you can download those photos. If you just have a particular picture in mind or you're looking for a particular photo, reach out, we can share that. But Tourism New Zealand, also the Tourism New Zealand image library. So if you just Google Tourism New Zealand Media Library, they have an incredible array of images as well, which you are able to use in your brochures, on your social media, etc. So to recap, we have some for Rotorua and we'd love you to show those, but Tourism New Zealand have an incredible array as well. So a few people have been, a few people haven't. When is the best time to travel to New Zealand is another question. I'm going to get Kieran to answer to that. My view would be the shoulder season, which would be spring and fall. And you can go back and watch our video to see where that is. Whilst we are only a country with 5.5 million people, our summer is December, January, February, and you have every single New Zealander, apart from those working hard in the tourism industry, on holiday at that time of year. So you're going to find peak prices and a lot more congestion, which comparative to the rest of the world probably isn't even congestion. But the answer would be spring and fall. Kieran, if you have a different answer to that, please chime in. Lots of people wanting to come down here. Kia ora, we call you an opportunity. Do we work with agents? Do you work with agents with a host agency? Kieran, going to get you to answer that one. Yeah, there will be a recording. Go, Kieran, you can answer that one.
Yes, we do work with host agencies. It's best to send me an email and I'll go through the process with you.
Fantastic. Someone could hear my whoop whoops in the background. Can we get to the spa from Tauranga? Yes. So Tauranga, if you're not familiar, is a city that is on the coast in the North Island. So we're central here in Rotorua and we are 1 hour's drive from the coast. So from some of the most beautiful beaches in the country, and we are a 1 hour beautiful drive. I've probably overcooked it, 50 minutes from Tauranga to Rotorua. So we do get some people that stay in Tauranga and do their day trips to Rotorua because we have so much to do down here. So yes, Pamela, there we go. One family of five is 15, turning 16 a week after their trip. Could they still do the spa? Gonna put her on the spot there. They're thinking about it.
Sure,
We can swing that. Yeah. Just get him to stand on tippy toes if it's a boy. Mind you, they should ask me to stand on tippy toes because I actually come from Hobbiton. Just quickly scanning the rest of the questions. If anyone is on their way coming down here, please reach out. I'd love to buy you a delicious cup of New Zealand coffee. And because coffee is a culture here, it's a thing. Do not be going to Starbucks in New Zealand, people. Nancy, please reach out. Kieran, I hope you are. Oh, look, got some friends on here. Kia ora, Lenora. Little taste of home for you. This is a Kiwi living in Vancouver. Just quickly looking for any other questions. It's been one of your favourite cities. Oh, kia ora. Is this luxury spa good for skin and hair? Absolutely. Yes. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I'm 96. Absolutely. And clients from India absolutely love this. A question specifically around there. Oh, Rinki, kia ora. Namaste. Yes, absolutely. Fantastic for the Indian market. Really intrigued, I think, particularly for the Indian market about the cultural aspect of the spa, a lot of the similarities between the Indian culture and the Māori culture, and the whānau, the family, and the connection to the place. So yes, absolutely. In particular for the honeymoon market in India, we want all three of these experiences on every Indian honeymoon itinerary. And I think that is all. We have just about answered them all. Guys, if we haven't answered your question, don't panic, because we get a list of the questions. It's very clever technology. And if there's anything we haven't answered, we will do so. One question I've just spotted: do you offer commission for Waiariki spa treatments on the client's booking? Yes, every single product at Waiariki is commissionable. And there's some lovely comments there about ANZCRO and Kieran are great to work with. Yeah, absolutely they are. They are absolute specialists in New Zealand and Australia. And well, we wouldn't be here if we didn't like working with them. And we love Kieran. He is incredible in terms of knowledge, super professional, and just a great guy. Right, one more question, and then I'm going to get off and stop talking. Renee,
Yes.
you ready? For the restorative spa, how is it regulated for 16 people? Are there time slots? And how long is the whole experience?
Good question. Yes, there are time slots. So we open at 9 o'clock in the morning through to 10:30 at night, and it's every 30 minutes. And how the spa or how the journey has been designed is that the 16 people that are before the next slot, if there were an additional 16, don't actually meet. So that's the beauty about the how it's been curated.
Beautiful. And we're going to close off now. Nancy, just a comment. You're staying at Prince's Gate. It is a 4-minute walk to Waiariki Spa from Prince's Gate. 5 if you're like me and you're limping. You could even walk to Te Puia from there, straight down the road. It should be about a 15-minute walk. So absolutely brilliant. So on behalf of everybody here, kia ora. Thank you so much. Sean, do you have any wise words into your Māori? He's looking panicked. Wise. There's a challenge.
Yeah, karakia whakamutunga. So in our culture, just a closing acknowledgement, a closing prayer to help us all on with the rest of our day. Mi noi tātou, whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mākine ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tai, e hi aki ana, te ātākura, he tio, he hoka, he hauhu, tihei, mauri ora. Kia ora, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day.